Will you return to movie theaters after the pandemic is over, or will you keep watching movies from your sofa? How about buying new clothes? Have you gotten accustomed to online shopping? Do you miss working from the office, or have you gotten used to Zoom meetings? COVID-19 led to massive changes to our daily lives and habits, all beyond our imagination. And those changes created an economy of winners and losers. For instance, while airline companies suffered badly due to travel restrictions, everything big tech related gained massively. But with vaccine rollouts and the easing of restrictions everywhere, things are slowly going back to pre-pandemic times. Slowly, the losers are becoming the winners again, and vice versa. It's expected that businesses that profited from the pandemic will lose momentum, while those which suffered the most will make up lost ground. But it's too early to see the results of this rotation just yet.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
The pandemic pushed everything from work to socializing online, and social media usage climbed to all-time high during this period. The 5 most valuable companies that gained the most are Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, and Facebook. Together, these companies are now worth more than $7.5 trillion. Netflix had a revenue growth of 73%, while revenues for Zoom surged by 307% during the pandemic. But one question is, will Zoom, one of the most popular stay-at-home companies, continue to expand its success as life returns to normal? The tech-heavy Nasdaq index in Wall Street lost 1.53% in May, breaking a 6-month winning streak, which proves the interest in tech is slowly fading.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Now some good news for the big-time losers of the pandemic. After experiencing the worst year in aviation history, there is some good news for airlines. They are currently optimistic, thinking the worst is over for the travel sector in general, including hotels and the cruise industry. In the last week of May, on a national holiday weekend, US air traveler volumes hit the highest level since before the pandemic began. Even though the number is 6 times higher than a year ago, it's still 22% below 2019 levels. And as demand ticks up, the energy sector, namely oil, is also gaining. But in 2020, when more than 2/3 of the world population was in lockdown, no one was driving, flying, or going from one place to another. That led to a historic drop in April 2020, when the price of WTI dropped by almost 300% to negative $37 per barrel. Now the historic glut due to lack of demand is almost gone, taking oil prices to 2-year highs. In other sectors such as consumer goods, firms have managed to balance their sales. For instance, sales were lost on items like razors, as men who stayed at home stopped shaving. But the same companies made a lot of money due to the surge in cleaning products. And thanks to online shopping, retailers have endured the most difficult times, even when their physical outlets were forced to close.
There's no place like home.
Unprecedented policy support helped the global economy to be more resilient than first estimated. As businesses reopen, it's expected that around 100 million jobs will be created globally. But that will still leave 75 million missing jobs compared to pre-pandemic levels. And we all know that the pandemic hit the poorest people and countries the hardest, while the mega-rich have become even richer in the same period. At various points throughout the crisis, Amazon's Jeff Bezos took the title as the biggest billionaire winner of the pandemic. His net worth has increased with Amazon's success and is up by $77.9 billion since the start of the pandemic. And he is now forecast to be the world's first trillionaire by 2026. Another name making the headlines during the pandemic has been Elon Musk. He's had the ability to affect markets with just tweets, while his company Tesla earned record profits in the first quarter of the year. Since the beginning of 2020, Musk's fortune has grown by $154.1 billion, and he's now the 2nd richest man in the world.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Nobody saw the pandemic coming. It has changed lives and drastically shifted many global dynamics. But even though there appears to be light at the end of the tunnel and hope for the COVID-19 crisis to be eventually over, it's still too soon to determine the real winners and losers.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.